Sahara Rose from Sahara Rose Travels. I want to thank everyone for watching, and thanks for everyone who watched my video yesterday. Please leave any comments or questions that you may have and share my video out if you'd like as well. So yesterday in the video that I posted, I talked a little bit about my story and how I was able to travel to 75 countries by the age of 30. And I also talked about the 5 key elements that I used to be able to do so. And those 5 things were money management, travel hacks, mindset, spiritual purpose, as well as action. So today in my video, I'm going to be going into the travel hacks portion of that, and I'm going to teach you my 5 favorite travel hacks. And these are travel hacks that I use to be able to travel the world on any budget, and you can too. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that in this video. So what are travel hacks? Travel hacks are, in my definition, are anything that you use, any trick that you use to be able to save money when it comes to traveling. So number 1, let's get started. My favorite travel hack is budget flights. So my favorite website is Skyscanner. You can, there's many out there, Momondo, Cheapo Air, Cheap Tickets, there's some other ones. Hi Arlene, thanks for joining me, are some of the other ones that I have used, but my all-time favorite is Skyscanner. A lot of people may say, yeah, I've seen those, I've used those, all this information, guys, is out there. There are tons of blogs, there's tons of websites, all this information is out there. It just depends on you, whether you know how to use them. So what I mean by that is, do you know how to optimize what you can use on Skyscanner? For instance, using hub airports, main cities, playing around with flexibility and dates and time and travel in order to get the best deal that you can. For instance, so I'm currently in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. If I want to go to Bali, Indonesia, I wouldn't fly directly from Milwaukee to Bali, Indonesia. That flight would be ridiculously priced and way out of my budget, and I would never afford it. So what do? How do I get there? So I will look at my closest hub airport, which is Chicago. And if you're not familiar with what hub airports are, 1, you can Google them, and 2, just think of the most busiest, biggest airports that you can think of, like Chicago, Dallas, or some of Atlanta, New York. Those are some of the ones in the U.S. But when you're thinking about the certain region that you're trying to go to, figure out then the hub airports in that area as well. For instance, for Southeast Asia, if I want to go to Bali, Indonesia, I would look at the hub airports over there. So that would include Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, Hong Kong, depending on how far over to a certain area you're trying to get. So I would fly out of Chicago, and I would try to get to one of those hub airports first. So Chicago to Singapore, Chicago to Kuala Lumpur, and see what flights would be better deals for those. And then once you're in that region, it's much cheaper to be able to get to your final destination from there. So a flight from Singapore, Kuala Lumpur into Bali, Indonesia would be far less expensive than if I were to fly directly from Chicago over to Bali. Sometimes I can get flights for $25, $30, $40 when I'm in a certain region already. I always say that people always say, it's so expensive, how do you afford these flights? I always say the most important thing is it's always the initial flight that is the most expensive. It's just getting you over to that region, and then from there you can do ground transportation, budget flights, other ways to travel. It's a lot cheaper once you're already over there. So it's always that initial flight. So another little tip that I have is trying to get to the furthest over that you can get. For instance, when I went traveling to Southeast Asia, the first time I went to Japan and worked my way over, and I tend to go the furthest away and work my way over back towards the US, which is where I live. When I went to Europe for the first time, I flew into Dublin, Ireland, not only because it was cheaper price, it's a hub airport, but because then I worked my way into the mainland, and then flew back home. Right out of Ireland as well. So when it comes to budget flights, use these websites, Skyscanner, Momondo, Cheapo Air. Skyscanner is my favorite, but use those little tricks. It takes time, but I've become a master of this. It is a skill set that I have because I've been doing it for so long. It takes me no time to be able to find really good deals versus someone who's new at it. The more practice you get, the better you get at it. You'll get more familiar with what hub airports are, and in certain regions, and just how to be able to find exactly your price range for a certain destination you're trying to go to. So that is one of my tips, which is when it comes to budget flights. Also, when it comes to budget flights, is be careful when it comes to the baggage. You have to know that what the certain airlines charge baggage, some don't. So you can definitely get caught with fees, which I had that learned the hard way many times. So when it comes, especially when you book through sites like Skyscanner that don't take you directly to that airline, for instance, AirAsia, they don't take you directly to that website to purchase your ticket. So they're not going to give you all the information when it comes to baggage. So do a little bit of research on the airline that you're going to book with before you buy it, because the baggage may cost a lot more than the price of the ticket, which usually is what happens. And then also you don't get stuck with huge baggage fees when you upon arrival in the airport as well, which has happened to me many times too. So the first one of my 5 favorite travel hacks is budget flights. Hi everyone. Hey Bianca. Hi Phil. Hi Rebecca. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in here. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. Again, guys, I'm going over my 5 favorite travel hacks that I use to be able to travel to 75 countries by the age of 30. So these 5 ones, I break it down into different categories and kind of go a little bit into depth on those in this video today. So the first one was budget flights, and the second one is budget accommodations. So my favorite is to stay in hostels. A lot of people are scared by that idea of hostels, but hostels is a very general term, guys. It could be anything from private rooms and cute little hotels to bungalows to anything, dorm rooms, of course. It's up to you. So it depends on the region that you're staying in and your budget, how much you want to spend. And how social you want to be. So sometimes when I travel on my own as a solo traveler. So a lot of times I like to book dorm rooms because not only is it cheaper just to get a bed in a room of a size of my choice, whether it's 4, 6, 8 beds or more. I like to socialize, meet people, and be around more people. But sometimes I'm exhausted and I don't want to be around a lot of people. I want to be by myself and just take time alone. I'll get a private room. But with that said, some regions of the world, like in Europe, it's going to be a lot more costly to be able to get a private room of your own. Versus if you go to places like Central America or Southeast Asia, you can get a private room for $8 to $10, which is a really nice little hotel room. So it's completely up to the region that you're going to, your budget, how you're feeling, what you're looking to do, and don't be afraid of hostels. And some of my favorite sites are, my favorite is booking.com. I like booking.com because they typically don't take, they don't take you don't have to pay anything up front, like if you use Hostelworld, but you also sometimes, but not always, have to put in a credit card to hold for your reservation. Or for your booking. So that's why I like booking.com. But I also do use Hostelworld from time to time as well. A little bit shop around, compare the prices. Usually they're typically around the same. And some sites will offer more accommodation availability than others do. So just play around with those as well. So if you have any questions on budget accommodation or why the thought of hostels scare you or anything like that, let me know. Also under the category of budget accommodations is staying with friends. I have so many friends that I've met around the world throughout my travels that I have built up this network, this community of friends that I can just reach out to, or they reach out to me if they see I'm in the area and I stay with them, or I stay with friends of theirs or family of theirs. So that's a nice way too to be able to save some money when it comes to traveling as well, if you're trying to stick within a certain budget. Like I said, every dollar counts, and just to try to all these little travel hacks that you can use to help stretch your dollar when it comes to traveling. That's one of the ways I was able to travel to so many countries on my own funds. So the first one was budget flights, the second is budget accommodations, and the third one is minimize your small expenses. It's kind of easy. It sounds easy, but sometimes it's actually hard. And when it comes to small expenses, what do I mean by that? I mean little things that kind of like waste your money. For instance, ATM fees, or spending too much money on a bottle of water at the airport, or spending too much money on your dinner for the night because you have nothing else to eat, or the country you're staying in is too expensive. So some of the tips that I have for that are, for instance, when it comes to ATM fees, check around with your bank. See if there's a bank that you can be involved with that offers low ATM fees or reimbursements. For instance, I have a bank here in the US that reimburses me every time I use my ATM card anywhere in the world. I get automatic reimbursement in my account. That saves me a lot of money because those ATM fees really rack up. And then also when it comes to water bottles, sometimes, for instance, when you're in the airport or any country can charge a lot of money for a water bottle as well too, depending on where you're at. $5 for water in like Iceland or something. Is to have your own water bottle. It's a little trick that you can just use. Have one on hand that you can fill up your water bottle whenever you see water there's available to get. That will save you a little bit of money here and there as well. And then when it comes to food, there's countries where it's a lot more expensive to eat out than to buy your own food, and vice versa. For instance, when countries like Iceland and Norway, it's really pricey for food there. So in my hostels, a lot of hostels too, another bonus about hostels, that a lot of them offer kitchenettes or community little areas where you can cook your own food. So you can go to a supermarket, a grocery store, buy food, and then prepare it for yourself at the hostel and keep it in the refrigerator, market, or whatever. So that's another way to save money when it comes to food. And also when it comes to food, what I like to do is have snacks on hand all the time. So I spend a lot of time in airports, guys. Obviously, I've been to 75 countries. Like, airports are my second home. So I spend a lot of time in airports, and airport food can be very expensive. And I'm not going to waste my money on that food. Plus, half the time I may not like what they have. So what I do is, a little tip that I do is, before I go and exchange my currency, because a lot of the currency exchange places will not accept coins. So I'll also have another video all about currency and currency exchange and stuff, and give you more tips on that. But they won't accept coins. So what I do is I go and I take my coins that I have of currency in a certain country, and I go to the supermarket and I buy like fruit that I can have that's easy to travel with, like bananas or apples or berries or something I could just eat at the airport, a little bag of nuts or dried fruit or something like that that I know that I can get through customs also. So I always have something on hand, like a little tea bags or something like that, so I can have on hand, so that when I'm hungry, I don't go and I'm not impulsive and spending money on food in the airport. So that's another little way that you can save money when it comes to minimizing your small expenses as well. So let's recap a little bit. So I'm talking about my 5 favorite travel hacks. Hi Umar, hi Carolina, hi Rogelio. Thank you all for watching. You guys are so nice, so kind. So my 5 favorite travel hacks are what I am going to talk about in this video, and these are some of the travel hacks that I used to be able to travel to 75 countries by the age of 30. And the first one I talked about was budget flights. The second one was budget accommodations. The third is how to minimize your small expenses. And the fourth one is pretty simple. It's just walking. You guys, like, you won't believe how many times people are like, oh, take the taxi here, or go here in this cab, or get the Uber for this. But the more you walk, the more you see, and the more money you save too. So I'm not a taxi cab type of person. I first say, is it walkable from the airport or the train station or the bus station to your accommodation? What are the directions to get there? What can I do first to be able to walk there? If it's obviously not safe enough, or it's too late at night, or way too far, then obviously I won't do that. But even during the day, go on a free walking tour. A lot of hostels or accommodations or cities will offer free walking tours. The more, and that's the best way to see things too. Like, I see the best things when I travel. You stumble upon the coolest things, stuff that's kind of like out of the realm of where the route of normal tourists go. And plus, it's a good way to stay fit and get your exercise when it comes to traveling. So the first one was budget flights. Then there's budget accommodations. Then there's minimizing your small expenses, walking, and the fifth one is just to shop around. And what do I mean by shopping around? Hi Carolina. Shopping around. So that's one, is literally shopping around. So trying to find bargain shopping, which I don't like. I love shopping, but I don't like to bargain shop. But you can definitely be ripped off and spend way too much money on something. And why is that important? Is because for one thing that you bought for 20 bucks, which you could have got for $2, you could have bought a lot more things with that 20 bucks. So shopping around, don't be impulsive. Take your time. There's going to be a lot of shops when you go to certain countries. So kind of compare prices, ask, bargain, see what the best deal is that you can get. So on top of just actual shopping around, I also mean shopping around when it comes to things like travel credit cards. Compare different travel credit cards. See which one has the best miles or bonus or points or travel perks for you, as well as your banks when it comes to the ATM cards. Shop around, do a little bit of research. Don't be impulsive on it, and that way you can get the best deal and make the best choice that is going to benefit you the most in the long run and help save you money in the long run. When it comes to the credit cards, look for ones that don't have foreign transaction fees. That also can accumulate, and by knocking that off, you can save some money that way also. And also accruing points, and that's a way to save some money on flights in the long run as well once you get enough points when it comes to credit cards. And then, again, I'm going to talk about that in another video because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to travel, credit cards, and currency, and whether you get cash or use your credit card or wait till I'm there or get money at the airport. I get a lot of questions on this, so I'll definitely do a video on that for you guys as well. There's a lot of important information on there. A lot of things I learned the hard way, and I'd love to share that all with you as well. So also shopping around when it comes to your budget flights, different websites, look around on those different flights. One thing I also want to talk about or mention about the budget flights is that a lot of people think that you have to book far in advance because then the prices are going to go up and you're never going to get a good price. That's not really true. I don't book my flights too far in advance, especially when it comes to budget flights, and I don't really find it necessary. I also don't go with the idea of certain days are better than other days when it comes to booking your flights too. For me, I've never really found that a pattern. I typically don't try to fly on the weekends, but if it's a good deal, I'll fly. So that's another thing when it comes to budget flights as well. So back to shopping around. So we talked about bargain shopping. We talked about ATM cards and credit cards, flight websites to shop around on. Currency exchange rates, do a little bit shopping around with that as well. Go to different booths or at the airport if you have to get money at the airport, and then go into town and kind of compare the rates. Don't go to your very first shop because someone may offer you a lot better rate down the road than this person at this shop does. And like I said, every dollar counts, and you may lose out money in the long run if you don't do this little step of shopping around. And then also shop around for when it comes to buses or tour companies. Kind of bargain with them. See, hey, so-and-so offered me this. What can you offer me? What kind of packages do you offer? If I bought X amount of tours from you, what kind of deal or how many people do you need us to get in order to lower the price a little bit? Kind of do a little bit of bargaining shopping when it comes to your tours and your buses as well. When I talk about buses is because I was just in Western Europe again, and I went to different bus companies, kind of compare prices of a bus from one place to another. Same thing as I do in Southeast Asia also. So one place may save you $5. So that money definitely counts as well. So these are some of my 5 favorite travel hacks, guys. Thanks again for everyone watching me. Hi, Christian. 5 of my favorite travel hacks. So I'll go over those again with you guys. So they're budget flights, budget accommodations, minimizing small expenses, just walking, and then shopping around and doing a little bit of research that way. So guys, I just wanted to mention to those who are just tuning in, my name is Sahara Rose with Sahara Rose Travels. I've traveled to over 75 countries by the age of 30, and in my videos, especially this one, I'm teaching you guys exactly how you can do the same on any budget. So if you ever have any questions or anything, please drop a comment below or let me know. I'll be posting videos weekly for you. If there's certain topics you want to know, please let me know as well. We're covering a lot of things in these videos, giving you all my tips, tricks, secrets, advice, everything like that. I've gotten a lot of questions over the years from a lot of people, and I've helped a lot of people by customizing different things for them. So please let me know if there's something in particular that you're concerned about when it comes to travel, or something that hinders you when it comes to traveling. How can I help you travel more and on the budget that you have? So please drop any comments and as well share my video. So I just want to talk about something that's really exciting soon is that I'm going to be launching my website, which is HeartRoseTravels.com very, very soon. And within that website, you'll be able to purchase my very first course on how to be able to travel the world on any budget, and a way for you to find financial, spiritual, and time freedom through travel and adventure to be able to live your best and happiest life, incorporating more travel into your lifestyle. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in and watching my video. Again, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out and let me know, and please stay tuned to my videos and please share them. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you